Nation's number one DJ, DJ Rockwell.
Yo, this is Apocalypse, the lyrical warner, hip-hop revelator. And you rockin' with the nation's number one DJ, DJ Rockwell, you understand me?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I want right there. Welcome. Peace to you all. This is your brother Vaughn Muhammad, aka DJ Rockwell. We need everybody before we do anything, before we even get started. We need everyone to obey the 3 standing rules of the Rockwell Radio Show. That means hit that like and share button. Please do number 2 and tag somebody. And last but not least, subscribe to the Rockwell Radio Show if you're watching us on YouTube. And also let me share some great news. You can now follow the Rockwell Radio Show on all of the major podcast outlets, iHeart, Podbean, all of those. You can catch your brother DJ Rockwell. So we need everybody to share the show because we've got an exciting episode to talk about tonight. Normally when I come on the air on an off night, I tell you what, I got something important to share. And I want to say, first of all, shout out to my little brother, Big Dave C, the producer of the show. He's not in tonight, so if I seem a bit distracted, I'm producing and doing the show at the same time. But as you can see, in the place to be, it is your brother, DJ Rockwell, and I've got some guests coming up tonight that are going to shake the internet with what they have to say about our hometown. What's my hometown? You can see it right here. I'm wearing the hat. You can see it. If you're from St. Louis, I want you to put in the chat what neighborhood you grew up in. If you're from the city, I want you to put in what neighborhood, what block you was from, what high school you went to. Because we just recently celebrated, and when I say we, I'm talking about St. Louisans all across the country, what's known as 314 Day. 314 Day, what is that? That is an event put together by 2 young black men, and we're going to get into them in just a moment or two, that recognizes all things St. Louis. And you got to go, get your St. Louis gear together, and do what St. Louisans do. It's a celebration of the culture, of the history. And yes, St. Louis has a specific culture and a specific history. And we're going to get into it tonight. So again, I'm looking for you. If you're just joining us, what's up? We need everybody to hit that like and share button, tag somebody from St. Louis, and let them know that tonight's episode of the Rockwell Radio Show is specifically for them. Now, let's get into it. I want to start getting into why we're here. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. I want to start getting into this. Like I was saying, the reason we're here tonight is to talk about a St. Louis originated, I'm going to use the word holiday, called 314 Day. And as previously mentioned, 314 Day is set up to celebrate the city of St. Louis, Missouri. If you're from the Lou, let me know what part. Let me know what high school you went to. Let me know who your favorite DJ was. Let me know, give me something that will prove to me that you from the Lou. Put it in the comments and I'll put it on the screen. I tell you what, 2 young black men, 2 brothers by the name of Tatum Polk and Terrell Dip Evans. Let me give this round of applause for them. I haven't had the pleasure to meet these 2 young brothers. They came along many, many years after I left the city. but they had the presence of mind to put together an event that would unite the community, that would instill some civic pride in those from the city. And that's a good thing. And what they began doing is putting on events around the town. Lou Pride. Do something that represents the Lou. What celebrates the Lou? And the question that we're going to ask tonight is, what should we really be celebrating from the Lou? We're going to raise some great questions here. But I'm proud of these brothers. Again, I have not met them. But again, I want to celebrate them and thank them for taking the time to put on what's called, or put together what's called 314 Day. So as you see here, if you look closely at this shot, you can clearly see all of the things that are relevant to St. Louis. If you zoom in on this shot, you'll see, and you can't do St. Louis without the STL red brim. If I'm ever home in St. Louis, I'm gonna grab me an Emo's Pizza. You're gonna get yourself some Vest soda. You see it in the shot. You might ride up the Kings Highway Natural Bridge and stop at White Castles. It's a part of the culture. Bad food is part of the St. Louis culture. We got to see what's up with that. Red Hot Riplets, part of St. Louis culture. You got to know about it. Now, but there's one thing that I had to ask, because every time that we recognize St. Louis, these are some of the mainstay items that get promoted. Wait a minute. If 314 Day is a Black found holiday, celebrated and driven by hip hop culture, has Black St. Louis benefited? We have to ask this question. Has the local St. Louis hip hop community benefited? I want to share a few facts for you real quick about who is benefiting from 314 Day. Look at these people right here. Let's give them a round of applause. Why not? Why not? I want to introduce you to Old Ed and Margie Emo. They founded Emo's Pizza in 1964. And since then to now, it's been family owned and operated. Oh yeah. What's up, Ed and Marge? And they generate a revenue stream of $22 million a year off of Emo's Pizza. So when we go 314 partying and stop at Emo's, ching ching, they get a check. Who else? And I just picked a few things from that list. Vest Soda. Vest Soda is over 100 years old, founded in St. Louis. Vest Soda was founded by a fella named Sylvester Vest Jones. That company now is owned by an overseas corporation, and it now generates over 5.9 billion euros. That's a little less than 5 billion a year. When we go cop that vest, that whistle, let me know if y'all remember Whistle. Vest Soda, they're benefiting from 314 Day. Look at this fella. Tell me if you recognize this guy. That's old William O. DeWitt. He happens to be the CEO of the St. Louis Cardinals and the chairman. Now, when we go buy these red brims and we go buy all the jerseys from St. Louis, cha-ching, they get money. Total revenue in 2023 for the St. Louis Cardinals was $372 million. Did you know that the St. Louis Cardinals outfit has a value of $2.5 billion? Ching, driven by Black culture. Well, let's keep going. And some of us like, that the Blues, St. Louis, the St. Louis Blues. Our St. Louis Guild, we get up with that. Look at this. SLB Acquisition Holdings. The chairman is old Tom Stillman here. Look what they generate in revenue. Total revenue for the last season, 23-24, $192 million for the St. Louis Blues. The value of that hockey club, $1.45 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, what is my point? I want us to continue to celebrate 314 Day. I want us to honor the two brothers who had the idea to bring the community together. I want us to support them when they do events. But what I want us to think about, how can we better celebrate it? Where if we are the founders, if we are the driving culture behind it, is St. Louis culture us? Are we benefiting? I want to ask that question again on the other side. But before we introduce our guest, we're talking about 314 Day, y'all. We still celebrating. But before we bring on our guest, I want y'all to watch a little something. Don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away. I want y'all to watch this.
A lot of y'all are stomping in your Air Force Ones because of the hit maker out of the STL. But the city's influence might be bigger than you think. Actually, St. Louis recalibrated rap radio. I'm gonna tell you why. Nearly every rap trend that pops off starts local. We all know the hip hop hubs like New York, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. But NPR Music is spinning through some of the lesser known local scenes that put a stamp on our now global rap culture. It all started when STL DJ Jim Gates played Rapper's Delight on the radio before any other station in America. And St. Louis DJs Kut, Charlie Chan, G.Wiz, Kool Odie, and Jim Gates' son DJ Needles all played a major role in pioneering hip hop on both a national and local scale.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And two of those DJs are here with us tonight. But again, before we bring them on, we're going to ask everybody to hit that like and share button. Hit that button one time for your brother. Tag somebody from St. Louis real quick. And if you're watching us via YouTube tonight, go ahead and subscribe to the Rockwell Radio Show. Let me do some quick shout outs before I get into it. I want to shout out to my sister, DJ Lady Jock in the house. I want to shout out my brother, Superman Speed in the house. So with no further delay, I want to introduce my first guest. And I have a series I've been doing called Salute the DJ, Respect the DJ, my DJ heroes. And I've talked to some of the best of the best. And the gentleman that I'm going to introduce you to tonight fit right in line with these series, except there's one big difference. These two brothers that I'm going to introduce you tonight to are the men who made DJ Rockwell. These are the men that inspired me, found me, mentored me, and moved me along in my desired goal to be a DJ. And I could not be more humbled and more grateful to have these two brothers on the show tonight. My first guest is a radio veteran of St. Louis. He had his first radio experience on a 100-watt station at Flow Valley College. He went on to keep going and working for stations like Magic 108. He was a fixture at places like Saints Roller Rink, the Palace Skating Rink. He went on to move to New York City and take over Power 105. He went on to give them that St. Louis heat at WBLS. He was also one of Nelly's and the Lunatics' first tour DJ. And he been breaking backs ever since. Please welcome my brother, my mentor, one of my DJ heroes, DJ Kut.
Hey, man, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here. And of course, I know we bringing on our big brother later, but I wouldn't be, here if it wasn't for our big brother G.Wiz. We can tell his history all day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, brother.
Yes.
Man, thank you, brother, for being, man. You One of my heroes, Chief. That's all I can tell you. So, brother, and we're going to talk about your great history. We're going to talk about our great city. And you have definitely been a contribution to it, brother. And again, I'm honored that you're here with me tonight.
Man, it's anytime. I told you, whatever, whenever you're ready to do it, let's do it. It don't take have my people call your people. Hey, let's do it. Let's
One
do
phone
it.
call away. And speaking of our people, speaking of our big brother, I can't think of no better time than go ahead and bring him on now.
Yeah.
This brother, his resume would take the rest of the show to read.
Easy.
Over 4 decades in the DJ game. Record label owner, producer, editor, documentarian, legendary roller skate rink DJ. The list goes on. I could be doing this all day. KDHX, the Street Vibes, African Alert.
Tell them.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all better tag somebody. This brother gave us the Rink documentary. This brother gave us background check. The history of St. Louis hip hop, and so much more that I can read off the sheet. Please welcome a brother who is a personal friend, a personal mentor, and I would not be just if I didn't say that I would not be if it wasn't for this man right here. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary G.Wiz. If you are watching, I need everybody to tag somebody. St. Louis royalty is in the house tonight. Gentlemen, thank you again for being here. Can I just jump right in?
Let's do it.
I want to start here. In terms of the 314-day concept, did anything like 314-day exist before those two brothers gave it to us in 2006? Did anything like that exist prior to them?
Yes.
Yes. Cut, what do you say?
I'm all ears because, Wiz digs with the pickaxe and the jackhammer. So I'm all ears because I can't proclaim I know everything, but did I know of it before then? No. But if Wiz say something was there, I'm all ears.
And I'm asking for a reason. I want to know, was that idea the first of its kind? Wiz, you say there was a precursor to it. Please tell us what it was.
For me and my generation, it wasn't exactly a 314 as in the area code, but as far as the celebration of Blackness, that was Afro Day at the Park. That's what we had. And that was that in Fairground Park. That was that thing that every summer we waited for. Where you had the vendors, you had the people, it was peaceful music. It was all of that. That's for me and my generation though. So, and I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying what we had that was in that same sector, but we didn't call it that. It was Afro Day at the Park.
Did Afro Day in the Park, did it emphasize city pride?
Most definitely. We talking mid 70s. So you had, it was that name for more than just Afro being the color, but all of the afros, dashikis, the lead men pants and knick shirts and golf caps and, all of that. That whole thing was like a Black experience the music. I mean, that was the first time I ever saw the group The Last Poets was at Afro Day at the Park,
Wow.
How about that?
which was for me, knowing what I know now, that was my first experience of hip hop.
Mm.
Okay. I want to shout out some people I see in the comment section that are with us live. Shout out to another one of my DJ heroes, Cool Odie,
Oh,
in the building. Tag Charlie Chan. Tags, man, come on. I can do it. Now, one of the things that they hoped 314 Day would do, brothers, was build city pride. As I read their bio and as I read what their aim and purpose was. Now, from your perspective, what are some things that St. Louisans should be proud of?
I'll jump in on this one. Man, thanks for Wiz for one pointing out that what was it called? Afro Pride Day, because my
Afro
cousin
Day.
Tree was
Afro
part
Day
of
at
the
the
Rock
Park.
the Dancers back
Yes.
then. So there's some of that old footage, and it wasn't called 314 Day. One thing I will give Tatum and Dip props, because they are trying to do things that are not marred with violence and fights and shootings and all that. So I know they mean well. I just would personally like to see more Black businesses really reap the benefits of 314 Day, because we again are the consumers that's spending all the money. We're spending all the money on 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 food that means us no well. Now, I would be lying if I didn't say, when I moved to New York, when I came back to St. Louis, I'm eating fried rice, I'm getting my emos.
We going
I'm
right to
getting
emos.
my casserole. I would be lying if I said I did anything different. But one thing I always made sure I did was came back and support Black restaurants, Red's Barbecue, King of Soul, or St. Louis Happy Hour, or, all of my favorite food spots. I'm coming back to support us. So that's what I did with my dollars on 314 Day. I went to St. Louis Happy Hour and I went to King of Soul.
So-
People that when you walk in and feel like cheers, everybody know your name. People that look like you, that you recycling your dollars with. So that's what I made sure I did myself.
But what should people from the Lou be proud of? What can we point to and say, you know what? Yeah.
I would say definitely no violence. I didn't hear any crazy violence happening that particular day. So I would say, to my knowledge, besides, we had the storms that knocked out a lot of power, tornadoes and storms. So, wasn't too much happening on that end. But to my knowledge, there was no violent incidents that I personally heard of on 314 Day.
Now, I'm not just referring to that specific event day. I want to just widen the scope at the city as a whole. And I want G.Wiz to jump in here with this. When people think of our city, what can or should people point to and say, you know what? I'm proud of that.
Musical history. The
Let's
history,
go there.
the music that we given to the world, from being on the banks of the Mississippi, from jazz, blues, hip hop, pop, country, every form of music, who is that? Opera. Everything came from either St. Louis. I'm not going to even, because I don't want to narrow this thing, because when we talk about St. Louis, we really mean the metro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this whole St. Louis thing always has included East St. Louis.
Facts.
Always.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and when people say 314, that's the same to me as saying, okay, 618. You know, because if you think about it, 618 is half of 314.
Wow.
Okay.
Facts. Facts.
And they right next door to each other. So that's one
Right.
unit. That's the way I think. I've always thought that way because we shared the economics. You know, we would leave St. Louis, go over to the east side, and we taking our dollars with us. You know, it was like that. It was back and forth. They would come here, we would go there. So it was music from what I gather, you
Mm.
know, because that's what I deal with a lot. That we should be really, really thankful for just having that. And I'm not going to talk about the, all of the other economics of, bread companies and Purina, all that, that's another thing. But when you're talking specifically the 314 day, we know what you're talking about is celebration. Celebration always include music. We, St. Louis metro area, delivered the music of the world.
Mm. I want to put up a quote of something I found during my preparation for tonight's conversation in the St. Louis American. In this particular story, they were covering 314 Day. And the author of this piece had this to say. They said, since launching in 2006, 314 Day has grown into a movement not just for Black St. Louis, but for people of all races and cultures. Businesses and corporations varying in size have also joined in putting their stamp on all things St. Louis. Now, I want to ask a question based on what that writer had to say. The event now is almost 20 years old and has grown, as they said, beyond Black St. Louis. But having said that, now that they're seeing the corporate backing come in, know where I'm going. Now
Yes,
that
sir.
the corporate backing is coming in, what is the likely impact on the community the event was initially intended to serve?
We get pushed out the way. We get some handouts. We get some, and I don't know all the specifics, but we talk in history, and history always finds a way to repeat itself. So we get some trinkets and some, pacifiers, and corporate America takes over like we didn't exist. So I stand on it. I stand on that one right there. That's just history repeating itself. Tell me if I'm lying if you want to. If you study history.
You know what I'm gonna say to that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm probably twice y'all age put together. But the thing is, I look at, you said is almost what it'll be 20 years old next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I always have to compare because I'm into history, so I have to compare on historical terms from my lifetime and my experiences. But I look at what you just said with 314 Day and that article that you posted. It's almost like if I reflect back, it's like the same thing as when I was a little kid and we used to go and sit on the street curb when the Annie Malone parade came down our street and threw
Mm-hmm.
candy to us, and people everywhere. Nothing was going wrong. It was like beautiful. But now it's a whole different thing. It's almost like music. It's like
Mm.
hip hop. Once the powers that be gets their hands on it, it changes the whole soul of it.
Mm.
Mhm.
So what that's y'all may remember some of the Annie Malone but when I was a kid, it was
Yeah.
totally different from when you were a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the change as time went through, and you see it now, it's like, man, it's nothing like it used to be. And
Mm-mm.
this is seems like this is the way this is going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless we as a unit step in and take back hold of the reins. It's your baby. Where you at? Daddy, where you at?
Mhm.
How about
Mhm.
that? What is Pi Day? Is Pi Day an example of that in terms of titling? Because every
If
time
you're a
I search
mathematician,
314 Day, exactly, I've seen it coupled with that language, Pi Day.
Oh yeah.
So did those brothers originate that language, or was that something that corporate started tossing in?
pi was a math formula. So it's impossible for them to have created pi.
Mm-hmm.
We was dealing with pi in algebra when I was in school.
Right.
So no, I don't. I've heard of Pi Day vaguely, but I don't know what and if
But
they
that's not
had
us. That's
anything.
not our
That's a
language.
question for them to
Mhm,
answer.
mhm.
I don't can't speak for them.
Right, and on that note, I want to be fair because obviously the brothers aren't here to speak for themselves. And I really wanted to raise questions to get you all's feedback, your response, and things that you see based off this last 20 years about the benefit or lack thereof of 314 Day. Let me do
Mm-hmm.
a quick moment to do a station ID. Again, you're locked into the Rockwell Radio Show. My name is DJ Rockwell. We're here all the time. You can find us on YouTube / the Rockwell Radio Show. And we need everybody to go ahead and follow the 3 rules: like and share, tag somebody. And of course, if you're watching us, you can go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and follow us wherever you find us. And again, let me add that we are now streaming everywhere you can download podcasts. That's Podbean, iHeart, Spotify, and so on. The Rockwell Radio Show is there. I want to ask one more question before we go to our break. And then we're going to get into some heavier, more fun stuff on the other side of the break. Now, St. Louis, and Wiz actually gave a great precursor to this question, has produced a countless number of celebrity icons, history makers across many genres. For example, Maya Angelou, Chuck Berry, Nell Carter, Cedric the Entertainer, Dick Gregory, and now SZA. So we span the gamut as it relates to what we can produce. But why did it take us so long to finally put our flag in the map for hip hop?
Mm. Mm.
Because the
We come
rest
back
of
on
the
the other
country,
side to answer that one.
No, we can do that now.
We do it now. It's that question got to start with G.Wiz. Like that's the guy pop of hip hop right there. I'm not standing here without him. You know what I'm saying? African Alert show. I
Call the
was a
roll.
listener before my radio show started. So yeah, it starts African Alert. Yes, yeah, man. Bring it on. Background check.
So,
I
Wiz,
would
we both
say
defer to you.
I would say I would think probably because the rest of the country is burnt out.
Mm.
I mean, New York gave what they did. LA gave what they did. And the rest of the country followed them. You know, Miami did what they did. And, certain people, certain groups gravitated to that, the Miami bass, but then when South took over, I mean, because we at this point we just talking hip hop music because we ain't talking soul music, and that's a different direction.
Big
Okay,
time.
but we talking hip hop, okay, or rap music. And once the South took over the country and made even New York change their styles, that was interesting because New York, we know, do New York and nobody else exists. Come follow me, follow the leader, and there was an opening as if it was a football game. And let me put this in perspective when I say football game. There was an opening. In this opening, in the year 2000, the biggest NFL team that was going was the St. Louis Rams. Okay? The hottest team, the greatest on turf, right? This opening that opened allowed this running back, Marshall / Falk / Nelly, and the Lunatics run through. The sound was so different from everything else. The rest of the U.S. gravitated towards because of the fact that that was the sound that you was hearing because the Rams was the top team in the NFL.
Yep.
That combination right there had a lot. I can't say a lot. Had a fraction to do with the success of St. Louis finally breaking through. That's the way I see it. Once he ran through Chingy and the Jaquans and everybody was running through, it was a gap there that was needed in the industry because it was a different sound.
Yeah.
They always say St. Louis don't have a sound. We do have a sound. You just can't adapt to it. Everybody has a sound, but our sound was different because as the song says, country grammar. We have a different slang, a way of talking, just like Chicago and Detroit and Atlanta. So that's what I saw. Looking at the whole economic rap world, it was a fresh opening right there, and they ran through like lunatics. No pun intended. Lunatics. Yes, it was.
For the lunatics. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up against the break. We're at the halfway mark. My guests tonight are my superheroes, my DJ heroes, DJ Kut, Wiz. You never have used the preface DJ. Why?
I used to, but I stopped because I'm more than a DJ.
Woo! Come on.
Facts.
Y'all tag somebody. This is the Rockwell Radio Show. Don't go away because after this message, we will be right back. Let's go.
What up with it, man? You already know what time it is. It's me, Young Kind of Don. I'm up in this thing.
This is Aziz, the Kid Kareem, the Life Giving MC. Peace, everyone. This is Brother Anthony K. Muhammad, also known as A-Tone, the hip-hop historian.
Peace, family. What's going on? It's Brother Jabril, Brother Mustafa, Lordship Productions in the building.
I am your sister, Arian Nicole. Peace, peace, peace. It's your sister, Sue Axel. You're watching the Rockwell Radio Show. You are now tuned in live to the Rockwell Radio Show. Right now, you're listening to Rockwell Radio Show.
Rockwell Radio. If you ain't listening, man, you wasting time. You on all these other stations, you need to tap in. Rockwell Radio.
You know what it is. Watch them.
I'm here with Brother Rockwell, the Rockwell Radio Show.
You ain't in the game, you in the stand. Stop playing, man. Let's go.
When last time you bought a Final Call?
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, man. You see what I'm saying? We always want to say, I mean, this is what I'm not doing. Yeah, everybody go buy a final call tomorrow. Everybody who watched it. The Muslims shouldn't have no papers in their hand tomorrow. Because you know what the Muslims going to do with the money.
True.
They're going to create other Muslims.
True.
You know what the Muslims are going to do? They're going to keep your neighborhood safe. They're going to show your little girl ain't nothing wrong with wearing a long dress. They're going to teach your children they're the original people on earth. So you know what that little $2 going to do. So go and spend that little $2.
True. True.
That's it.
True.
That's it. That's it.
Assalamu alaikum. This is your brother, Nuri Muhammad. And whenever I'm searching for a source or a platform that I can get some news that I can use, I look forward to and look at, watch and listen to the Rockwell Radio Show. And I hope you would do the same.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. This is DJ Rockwell, host of the Rockwell Radio Show. My guests tonight are DJ Kut and G.Wiz. The best thing you can call G.Wiz, he is the Renaissance man. A Renaissance man of the city of St. Louis. I want to also say Ramadan Mubarak to all of the Muslim family who are out there watching the show tonight. Thank you for breaking your fast with your brother, DJ Rockwell. I want to shout out my man, Shaman Moore Zilda in the building. I want to shout out Divine Light Allah in the building. Jihad Hassan in the building. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for joining us. I want to get into this. I want to talk DJ stuff for a minute. Here we are with two of the most legendary DJs of the city. And later on, before we close, we're going to shout out everybody. We're going to shout out all of them. I want everybody to get the love tonight. I can't count how many times I have caught a flight to the city to hear DJ Kut play, to hear Wiz play. I can recall a time in particular I showed up unannounced and snuck in on DJ Kut. And I can't remember the name of the spot with the dance floor lights and all. That was
Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I had never seen nothing like Boogie Nights. When you are curating a St. Louis set to pay tribute to St. Louis, what are you playing? Give me 5 records that are St. Louis classics that you would play to honor St. Louis hip hop.
Man, to honor St. Louis hip hop, you cannot leave out Culture Shock.
Come on.
You cannot leave out Culture Shock. You cannot leave out Trick with a Good Rap.
Come on.
Look smooth. You can't leave out. People can say it didn't make it past St. Louis. The Nina Pop by the whole 9. I've DJed stadiums, arenas, whatever you want to call it. I'm the DJ. I'm playing the music. I'm seeing what's leaning the building. Of course, you got to give it up to EI. Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling what songs shake the building that represent St. Louis. And of course, Chingy right there. You got it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's and that's still a hard 5 because it's way more than that. It's way more than that.
Way more.
I brought up Culture Shock for a reason because there's so many artists out of St. Louis that don't even know about Culture Shock. I look at people put these lists on Facebook or whatever social media, and they can't go back past, like 95, 96. They don't know the history, including a lot of artists and producers. They don't know Wizardtron Records. They have no clue about JCD and the Dog Pound. I'm from the Peabody Projects. One of the first songs that I did scratches on, even though I didn't get credit on the actual record. I'm from the Peabody, so we had the Doris Webby right across the street. So it was a dude named Wee Jock who was putting out his own independent records. So this was 1985. I did scratches on the song, not knowing the importance of, damn, if my name just would have been on there, scratches by DJ Kut. This is something documented. Only I know and he know who did the scratches and the people from, down our way. But we was here before 2000 when it comes to hip hop. We was here before that. And our stories are never told. And it's constantly, the history is constantly being rewritten. But those who know, you can't rewrite the history of St. Louis hip hop. Long as Chan is alive and Cool Odie is alive, Kool-Aid, Wiz, yourself, us vets, you can't erase our history. That's impossible to do. You can try all you want to.
Come on.
But you can try, but we're here.
Wiz, 5 songs
Don't
that
do me like that.
are tribute to St. Louis.
You can't do me like that. And you know why you can't? Because that dude is the party starter.
That he is.
He is the party starter. My flavor is different.
It can be whatever. Whatever you can think of.
I'm always gonna think of me. Me and he said some that I would have said, of course, Nina, and Chingy, but and Culture Shock, of course. But I love D Rebel on the road.
Ooh, man.
I love playing it at the skating rink, because the smoothness of it, but then, I can't really pinpoint what I would play because I always change things up. Always, I don't know what I'm gonna play. I'm that player who plays for the not for necessarily dancers or to have the floor packed, because that's not my style. That's why it's like people like Kut, Thorough and all them. I look at them totally different. Like, man, y'all on a different level than me, and that's why I will listen and watch what they do because that's all I can do is watch. I'm not gonna imitate them because I can't. That's not my personality, So, but they give shows. They rock crowds. They put them in frenzies. I hypnotize them.
Ooh. Please explain the difference. Please explain the difference, because there is one, and I think I know what you mean.
Well, a lot of DJs, especially the ones coming up now, they so focused on rocking the crowd. Just you got to go in, you got to rock the crowd. You got, if they ask you for a request, you got to play it, because they're gonna tell you the hottest song, regardless if they ask you play it, because they so focused on rocking the crowd when they don't even really know the music. They playing music they just heard somebody else play. They don't have a crate. They don't know how to dig. They don't go in record stores. They don't research music. They know nothing about the artists. They just know particular songs from a song list. The Cuts and all of those type DJs, they know the music like they heartbeat.
Come on.
They know when to change the song. That puts people in a frenzy because they going on an elevator. They going up. They taking them up. And they let them hang there, until they ready to drop them. But they don't let them hit the ground. They just drop them and scare them. Like when you're on a roller coaster, you up and, but you don't hit the ground, but your heart says, that's what they do. What I do is I try to get them mentally and emotionally entrapment with vibes. That's what I do. Whether if they dance or not, it doesn't matter to me. If I see somebody head bobbing or foot tapping or hand on the table, I got them. I'm good. I'm cool
now.
with that.
Come on. My brother Superman says this: they don't know the art. What we did ain't a fad. What we do is an art. Let me ask this question while we're on this. Would you all say St. Louis is a party city?
Hell yeah.
I want to go back to your time you spent Kut DJing for Nelly and the St. Lunatics. One of the things that I seen in the press that you were quoted as saying is when y'all went out, it was a party after city after city after city.
It was. Tell
me about that.
Man, being on the MTV TRL tour and Destiny's Child was a headliner. And when the Lunatics hit the stage, it was literally a party, city to city, from the start of the show to my, intermission DJ break to where I'm dropping songs, getting the crowd hype. It was literally a party, city to city to city. Wasn't nobody mean mugging, you know what I'm saying? Like the typical rap shows, somebody smoking blunts and got their guns and snuck guns into the concert. It wasn't that type of vibe. It was a party. It was a St. Louis party going city to city, conquering city to city. That's exactly what the St. Louis vibe was being on tour. It was.
Now, King Odie said it was a party city.
I said was.
Can I say something to that?
By all means, yes, sir.
St. Louis / East St. Louis was one of the most rockinest place on the planet in the 70s, in the 80s. And the reason being is we didn't have the distractions that they have today.
Right.
You went to the club or you went to the skating rink or you went to a party and you danced, and we had plenty of dances to choose from. Whether you were spanking or swanning or the wash machine or the Cracker Jack or whatever you was doing, everybody, it was almost like when you got on the dance floor, you was battling who you danced with because there was so many dances to choose from. The music also went along with the dances because music, this is where the breaks come from. You waited for the get down part.
Come on.
You saved your best dance for that part when it came, because you practiced all week. So when you go to the club or wherever, when that part come out, you going at it. So the whole vision, the world of partying and everything, and this is like little kids, teenagers, young adults, older people, they all danced in. What happened?
Wow.
What happened?
Wow. What
one dance
out, whole
and they all
right
do
there.
it. You got little kids, young adults, teenagers, older people, grandparents, all doing one dance. And what's the dance? Twerking. Pitiful.
Lord have mercy. I want
That's
to
the
pivot real
difference.
quick. Big difference. I want to pivot real quick to radio. I am looking at whoever that is behind Kut.
my mini-me.
Hey, mini-me. I want to pivot to radio. I always wanted to be on the radio since I was a little boy. And I want to give this round of applause to G.Wiz for making one of my dreams come true. If you can see, Wiz,
I seen it. I was gonna say something.
I had to zoom so y'all can see this.
Yeah. I saw it.
I was so proud when he gifted me with this as a co-host of KDHX FM 88.1 Street Vibes from 92 to 94. And I got to wear it. I felt like the way when Jay-Z gave you a chain, that's how I felt the day that Wiz gave me this coat.
Yes. Legendary.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I want to use that as an introduction to the question. What is it about the medium of radio that is so endearing to people? Kut, as I prepared for this, one of the things I noticed about your story, you were able to go from station to station to station, leave the whole state, and come back and still have a base. With a similar story, you can go from skating to skating, and people will follow you. When you play on a set on the air, people will tune in to hear you. I'm down here in Atlanta, and I would tune in to hear a Kut set or a DJ Wiz set because I know he was going to play something I didn't have, so I'm writing down records. What is it about that medium of radio that draws people in so close and makes them loyal supporters?
I never switched up. I was blessed to have the freedom while I was on the radio to play how I wanted to play. You know, we all went through a phase to where, depending on who the program director was, to where they tightened up and we had to play these songs, and it came across the air as just stale and boring. But the majority of my career, I've had the freedom to play what I wanted to play, and it came across the air as free and fun. And you didn't want to miss that experience. You know, like even when you said you used to pop in the Boogie Nights, we ran Boogie Nights live broadcast for 6 years, because when you came through there, you didn't know what you was gonna get. You knew you was gonna get something,
right?
But when you came through, it wasn't just as predictable. It was coming like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna miss tonight, but I'm not going to miss this. So, you know, we never got above the people, and just when you having fun, people can feel it. When you start, you know, like radio now is so corporate, it's so restricted and poor managed to where it's like you can take it or leave it. When we did it, it was like, I don't want to miss it. Yeah.
Wiz, what is it? What is the magic of radio in St. Louis? What is the magic of radio that pulls people in and keeps us there?
I think that's a question for Kut. Because I'm not sure, honestly. I don't see. I've been in that situation where the radio stations that I've been on, you know, and I've always had the freedom to play whatever I wanted to play, no matter where I was at. Whether it was 88, Mix 97, when Kut got me on Music Choice Channel, when Kut got me on 95, when Sylvester had me doing mixes for 108, nobody ever told me what to play until somebody suggested something that I stopped playing. Because he said that audience was dead and gone.
Wow.
And that's when I was about to make my exit. It's like, you can't tell me these Motown sound is dead and nobody wants to hear that. You out of your cotton picking mind. You know, so, but other than that, I've always been in a position to play what I want to play. And it may not be I may not play the most popular songs or the most liked, but I just play the way I feel or when I think somebody should hear something because I think it's dope. And I got that whole experience from DJing at the skating rinks for over 30 years. I've always played stuff. I would get music from New York and go and on Tuesday and Saturday nights, I'm breaking it at the skating rink. Those were my testers. You know, so I'm like, well, I'm a skater. You know, if they can skate off of it, you can dance off of it.
Oh man, I cannot believe we are already at the hour mark. Can I keep y'all a few minutes longer?
Yeah. We're going to have to do a part 2 and 3.
Oh my God. Because I got some questions here I just got to get to. I have to get to before we close. You're watching the Rockwell Radio Show. My guests tonight are DJ Kut and G.Wiz. We're talking about 314 Day, what we should be celebrating. And that's where the course of this conversation is headed, about the great history of the city. That's what we should be celebrating and holding dear to us, the culture that is St. Louis. Now, that was actually a setup question for this one. Is terrestrial radio dying? Obviously now with the internet and streaming this and streaming that, and we now see in St. Louis and other places where radio people are getting thumped off like flies. People are losing their jobs. Whole radio stations closing. What does the change of the industry mean for DJs?
I still totally disagree that terrestrial radio is dead. You're just not giving people nothing to listen to. Because if that was a fact, the Breakfast Club would be gone. Ricky Smiley's show would be gone. They have watered down radio so bad with this one list plays across the country. It's like you're not offering nothing. You're not offering nothing. It's like, play these 2 songs here. It did well in Atlanta, or it did well in DC. Well, sorry, DC ain't St. Louis, and St. Louis ain't DC.
Right.
That's what. So they're not giving people nothing to listen to. That's the problem. That radio has took this downward spiral so bad, but they don't want to look at the obvious. Nobody in corporate America want to run to the mirror and say we destroyed radio because we stopped giving people something to listen to. That was the whole problem.
Wiz, what say you, sir?
I say radio, terrestrial radio, I don't think will ever die because it's the same thing that they said about regular network television when all the cable stations started coming. You know, it's like some mediums you have to have for the public. You have to have terrestrial radio because everybody don't stream music. Everybody don't go to YouTube. Everybody don't have internet access. And you have to have a way to be able to get to every person on the planet or in the country you're in case of emergency. So no, it won't go anywhere. But he's right. I feel the same way. Why would you want to have access to all of this? And every time you look at it or listen to it, it's people that don't live in your neighborhood. They're talking about things that they don't have the same accent as you. Whatever news briefing they getting has been passed to them and they reading it. So it's no heart-to-heart compassion from these people when they reading this stuff. You know, something just happened over in North County or South City or whatever, and they just reading it. And then they go back to the jokes. That's not compassionate radio. You know, you need people like when the Mike Brown thing went down and Kut had the whole city on lock.
That's
whole
literally
entire city because of the fact that he was from here. Nobody could have done that simulcasting or in some other jock from somewhere else. You know, Tom Joyner can't do that. He's not a St. Louisan. So he don't know the experience. That's the thing that's, like you said, that's missing. You know, the homegrown thing is missing.
Can you walk us through that moment? He literally took the question off my page. Can you just briefly speak to the climate of the city? And for those of you not from St. Louis, most people don't know that Ferguson is a suburb of St. Louis. When the Ferguson Rebellion happened in 2014, Kut was on the radio.
Yep.
Kut was talking to the people. Kut, can you please just give us a brief synopsis of the city at that moment?
It was a Saturday. I think I was off that Saturday. I don't even think I was working that Saturday. Just, like all of us, we hop on our social media, and I hopped on Instagram, and I saw Mike Brown's body just laying in the street in Ferguson. I didn't know what to think. I just started getting dressed. Nobody called me and say, "Hey, I think you need to get to the station." It was none of that. I saw a dead black body that has been laying in the street for hours. I got dressed, got to the station. I didn't know. I had no script. I didn't have a clue what I was going to say. I just knew, get to the radio station, crack the mic, and let's see where this thing goes. There was no time limit. It was no start time. There was no stop time. On the Hot 104 side, Boogie D came in. They staffed up over there. I was on the 95 side, and we was just taking it to the city, man. We went as far as, Emperor's like my brother. So Emperor was like my eyes and ears. I mean, because it didn't happen just Saturday. It happened Sunday too. So one thing that I didn't know until after the fact, that Sunday, is they took out the cable in North County on purpose. So people, so not knowing all of the information that they was getting that was happening in North County was coming from the radio. And Emperor was driving up and down West Florissant. He stopped at the Walmart lot. He was giving me reports from what was happening to West Florissant and Chambers right there at the Walgreens, literally on the phone, calling in, letting me know what was happening. So days later, weeks later, people coming up like, man, only how I knew what was happening in the North County was I was listening to the radio. So nothing was scripted. I just knew, get to the station. All these celebrities, hey, y'all go in the house. Man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. No, we from the Lou. We know Ferguson ain't been right. Jennings ain't been right. None of the municipalities ain't never been right when it came to us. So I just head to the radio station. Shout out to Wiz, saved me on something because I said something very stupid on the air. And he corrected me on it. And that audio will never be heard.
I guess I won't ask what you said then.
yeah, but it'll never be heard. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be grateful that you have good brothers like G.Wiz and Emperor and other people that was feeding me information that I might have misspoke on and got corrected. I was like, ooh, I didn't know that. And quickly corrected it instantly, like wasting no time, getting things correct. And not trying to be all in the family face and I'm on the front line with you. That time I played my part. All of the stars who came for a photo op and all the opportunists, rappers and politicians and everybody just wanted to come get book deals off St. Louis and all that. It was a bunch of BS, man. I didn't even go to the funeral. I didn't go to the funeral. I stepped back. I let the lights and camera action die, and all those opportunities that came through the city, where was there when the smoke cleared? Then that's when the Leslie McSpadden got to know me. Mike Brown, the senior, got to know me. They was like, I'm still here. When all the smoke clears, I'm still here in the city. I'm still here in the city. What y'all need? When it was all said and done, I was still here.
This is a part 2 and 3, just as you said, just on that aspect alone. I want to know how my brother Jamil Muhammad know about Maryland Heights. Man, shout out to my big brother Jamil Muhammad, who's listening now from, I believe it's Arkansas, if I'm correct. Shaman Moore, my brother, he says this. He said, DJ Kut was telling people, don't destroy where you are. Those businesses will not return.
Thank you.
Man, I can only imagine that was a heavy, heavy, heavy moment. I want to finish out this segment because I'm over time, obviously, by 10 minutes. I want to finish out this segment on radio by playing a game, if you will. I want to say a few legendary St. Louis on-air personalities. And I want you all to share either a story or a memory about these names. And I'll just take turns. I'll start with Wiz. Dr. Jockenstein.
Rest in peace. Jockenstein changed radio for the youth, teenagers, young adults. And his biggest thing was, the roll call show. I mean, that wasn't the biggest thing he did because he did a lot of great things. But being in that whole roll call thing, people still to this day still do the roll call. He left an impression on both sides of the river with all kinds of people. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this, because it will be in background check part 2.
Come on.
Is that I was at a shop, picture frame shop, getting a piece of art framed. And this guy that worked in there in his 50s, he brought up Dr. Jockenstein, Caucasian guy. I'm like, what you know about? He was like, I know all about Jockenstein. I remember the roll call show, and he did a roll call thing.
Wow.
I asked him, can I videotape you doing that? If you do it again, he's like, of course. I have it, and it's going in background check part 2.
Wow. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. DJ Kut, this name is for you. Toss and Ted.
I'm gonna say this: the name that don't get mentioned, and I see Odie is in the chat as well. The person that don't get mentioned is Captain G.
I was
Captain
hoping you asked me about
G. Yeah, it's like
you're on my list. He's on my list.
Everybody overlooks Captain G. It was Captain G. Listen, when I used to go to the Wiz, I posted up at the booth and watched Captain G, Toss and Ted, Doc Love, and Rockin' Reese. Captain G was the person that gave me a shot, who gave me his card, said, hey, come over to the record pool office, Midwest DJ Association. Captain G is the person that introduced me to Charlie Chan. I started hanging out with Captain G, so he took me to the Animal House. I knew of Chan, but Captain G made the official introduction with me and with me and Charlie Chan. Captain G was that dude who introduced the house music to St. Louis. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Captain G is the reason why we have Toss and Ted and Doc Love. It was Captain G. And so if you ever watch this dude mix, it was like incredible. Like he could take, you know, like every song don't start on beat. So he knew how to take an offbeat song and drop it on beat. And I would just be like, how in the hell did he do what he just did? And he was, you know, one of the people, you know, because I was mainly into tricks and scratching. He was like, yo, you need to learn how to mix, you know, so all that the scratching and trick stuff, because he's from Chicago, so they weren't really doing it the way we was doing it. Mm-hmm. So definitely got to give it up to Captain G. From that DNA right there, you have none of that. You don't have no mental mixes and none of that stuff without Captain G. So we got to give it up to him. No disrespect to Ted. That's still like my brother right there. But we can't. Captain G name don't even get mentioned in the world of.
He was on my list.
Yeah, it don't even. I'd be like, y'all don't even know who Captain G was. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. That's why, you know, you listen to all these interviews and hip hop artists and producers and DJs. Y'all don't even know who came before you. That's the thing that irks me. So I'm gonna say Captain G.
G.Wiz, this next name is for you.
Can I say one thing on that?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Captain G is also the first DJ to play Culture Shock.
How about that? That's for Captain G. Is Captain G still with us, by the way?
No.
Okay. All right. G.Wiz, this next name is for you. Gentleman Jim Gates.
That's the dude that was a Scorpio with brown eyes. AKA the brown eyed Scorpio. He was the guy that was on the radio that was, it was like that smooth, like drinking a shake, you know, just smooth. Even when I went to go see him DJ, you know, down at Gaslight Square, and I'm listening, and the way he played his songs, his music, and he talk in between them, you know, and before, it's like it was so smooth. It's like he was like the Billy D. Williams of radio, put it like that. Yeah.
All right, I'll do two more. I mean, we'll move on and we'll start ready to close it down. DJ Kut, Charlie Chan.
Oh man, Chan, I don't care. Me and Chan came from two different crews. Once Captain G introduced me to Charlie Chan. Chan gave me his phone number. We know that little apartment over there in U City, right off Backer. He started letting me come over there, practice with him, started giving me copies of the DMC tapes, like 6 generations of dubs, so where you can't even really make out the damn person's face, but you seeing all these different tricks and stuff. Like, damn, like, yeah. So we clicked like that, and you might not even mention his name, but you know, it's like when Kendrick Lamar said the big three is you mentioning. I mean, of course, obviously we are all behind G.Wiz. You got Cool Odie, which we went to McKinley together.
Okay,
and
that's a fun fact.
Charlie Chan. So, and the person that linked to all three of us was Luke Mine. Luke Mine, we from the Peabody Project, so he was my first MC. He used to catch the bus to on the north side to hang out with Chan. I mean, with Odie, and tell me things that Odie was doing. I couldn't stand Odie back in the day. And not in a bad way, because Odie was so damn dope. Like when he was mixing on Z100, and we'd be riding 4 deep in the car, you know, me and my cousin, them drinking our 40s and smoking our joints, and Odie would be on the radio clowning. I'd be like, I can't stand him. I couldn't stand him. Odie was, man, oh my God. Odie was the greatest. Like Odie
look at him. Look at Odie.
Odie had a huge influence on putting the fire under me, because I was like, man, this dude is man, the mixes that boy used to do. Oh my God! And
I bear witness.
I hate I ever loaned him his own tapes that I had though, because I never saw him again. I never saw them damn tapes again. I never saw the tapes again. I shouldn't have never loaned him his own tapes that I used to record off the radio. Man, Odie was, man, just incredible. Just incredible. I always wanted him to come back to radio. I always did. Like, man, yeah. So it was mainly us. And I'm not excluding our One Rough DJ or nobody else or Duck or none of them guys. We was like the three. We was the three right there. Mm-hmm.
Wiz, I'll finish out this segment with you as we close. DJ Pepe.
Again, rest in peace, Pepe. I will say this. I hate the fact that he won't get to see the rest of Background Check, because there's some hilarious parts in there that he would have fell out the chair laughing that's in it. I hope his family will be able to attend when I release that, and I'm sure they will fall out the chair laughing. It's typical Pepe, you know, and the way when he gets excited. So that he was dedicated and loyal, you know, to the art, the craft of DJing. You know, he did it to heart. He didn't just do it to be doing it. If you didn't have the right equipment, he didn't want to mess with it. One of them type, you know. When I first met him is through Soul Tribe, you know, Vaughn and Reese P and the Divine Sound, Sounds rather, Divine. And they came over with Flakes in a Bowl and all that type of stuff. You know, that was the name of their songs. You know, they had songs like that. They were like the Jungle Brothers,
right?
With a twist of Dr. Seuss combined. That's what they were. And you know, but Pepe, even though I think he was slightly older than the rest of them, he was the more grounded one, where he was like a little bit more serious than they were, because they were still younger, you know, with that teenage energy, you know, excitement. But if it wasn't right, he wasn't messing with it. So
come on,
that's Pepe. That was yeah.
I want to give a round of applause to every DJ mentioned, and the ones we didn't mention. I mean, this could go on for another hour. I could tell King Odie stories for another hour of how I was sit and just be in awe of watching him play. You know?
Yeah, so, shout out to Odie. Odie is
man, absolutely. Let me begin to close with this question, because again, we're talking about 314 Day, about what we should be celebrating. I want to close by asking you both this. I want to have you give closing comments on what would make 314 Day better.
Do your research. Don't leave out who came before 2000. Yeah, do a little homework. Know who came first. No, that's all. Do your homework. That's all. Do your homework.
That's an easy answer. Wiz, what say ye?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, do not just, you know, I say do your research, your homework, but I think you as far as research and homework, not just individuals, but businesses. Find out what businesses that need your support, because as time goes on, and it's all, you know, right here in our face now, you know, we have to realize that corporations have way more money than small businesses.
Yes.
And they not only have more money, but they have more resources to get money when they do drop stock. You know, if a small business go down, that pretty much takes them out. So you can, you have family legacies who of entrepreneurs who wanted to be um, self-employed, have their own small business, but you won't support them, but you'll go to the gas station, that with people that don't care about you. They ridicule you. They exploit you, right there in your neighborhood. But right next door is the small business owner that you probably grew up with their kids because they never left the neighborhood, and they just trying to maintain their own business. Why don't you deal with them on 314 day? And how about 313 day, 316 day, 218 day, 12 one, 12 one day, and all that? It don't only have to be 314. I know that's what the tagline is, but it don't do them no good if you did. If everybody went out and just went to, let's say black businesses on 314 day and bought things and supported them and this, that, and then on the 15th, 16th, 17th, you never went back.
Ghost, right.
What good did one day do them? Nothing. That paid for this week's supply. Now they're back in square one again. So that's what you have to do. Look at the whole picture, or as you would say, as you said earlier, don't look at the slice of the pie. Look at the whole pie.
Come on. Brothers, we are at the end. Again, I still have part 2, 3 on I have plans to open up the phone lines and have people call in and all that. So but it's just too much to say. I want to have you all to say the close. Is there anybody's name that should be said that we haven't said tonight, that we should be recognizing?
I gotta say, and I'm trying to jump the line. I gotta say, definitely my man Ricky Bates. Ricky Bates, G.Wiz, Captain G played an integral part of my style of mixing. Big time. Teaching me beats per minute. Yeah. Teaching me beats per minute. Big time. Big time. Rest in peace to Ricky Bates. Definitely. But these are guys who, and of course, Wiz was always such a giving person. Like he'd have double copies of something and give you one. I wish I would give somebody what? You better get your own. give you a copy. Hey man, take it. Like, yeah. So yeah, they played. Yeah, man, definitely. But Ricky Bates, he's another person that don't get his flowers, but he knew sound and engineering and Pro Tools and straight up how to mix. Because again, I was just focused on, trying to do tricks and scratches and stuff like that. Like, now you need to learn how to mix. That's so disrespectful for somebody to say that to you. You need to learn how to mix. But once I learned beats per minute, I was like, got it. Got you. Yep.
Brother Wiz, you got the last word, sir. Anybody named that we didn't say tonight that we should have said?
Yes. I'm gonna say two people right off the top. D Rebel and Early D. Rest in peace to both of them. And I have to say, shout out to, of course, you said the Cool Oli. And I got to say, shout out to the original Godfather, because that is the dude that I used to listen to when he was live on WSL over at the Regal Room, and I drove over there and I didn't dance. I went there to watch him. I leaned against the wall and watched him.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was a triple threat. He mixed, he scratched, and he MC'd/rapped. And that was back in the early 80s. So he inspired me and made me want to learn how to mix by listening to him, you know. So it's people like that. And then my people, you know, the whole Wizardtron company, you know, Ram Love and all, you know, Double Death, you know, Sexy C.
Wow.
Them.
Wow.
Yeah. Kim. Yeah. Nikki B. Just Brothers, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. That's.
Oh, man. I wish I had more time. I was going to try to fit this in with talk about this, about how beautiful this night was. The debut of Background Check.
Rural Reese.
I was going to try to fit it in and talk about this, but there's got to be a part 2 where we just talk about the beauty of this documentary and what it meant to me. So, brother, on that note, I know we could go on and on all night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Brothers, it's always an honor to talk to my heroes, my mentors. In the comments, my heroes, my mentors, Odie, Speed. Man, the list goes on. Shout out to Muhammad Maz, number 28 in St. Louis, who's watching along with us right now. Again, Ramadan Mubarak to you all. And brothers, next time we will do it again. We'll be more focused and try to cover some more ground. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. That's the Rockwell Radio Show. We're still honoring 314 Day. It's 314 till it ain't no more. We will see y'all next week right here on Rockwell Radio Show. We are out of here.
Let's get it.
Now, if you got past all of that, you might as well keep on rocking with us. So come on, everybody, let's go. Let's go. Radio show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. Come on, Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. Everybody, Rockwell Radio Show. That means you too, Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. Come on, Rockwell Radio Show. That's right. The Rockwell Radio Show, y'all. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. The Rockwell Radio Show. Come on now, y'all. Yeah. It was a dope episode, man. Come on, man. Stop tripping.